Everybody, welcome back. I'm on the Cts-V doing the cam swap right now, part of it anyway. I used a dowel rod setup to hold the lifters up. The new cam's in there already. These use a 3-bolt setup. Those are the water pump bolts. It helps hold it up so that you can slide it in there with a little leverage. Yeah, so here's the front. Everything's got to come off. I didn't have to empty this out. It's just hanging. There's flexible lines there. I really can't wait to just get this buttoned up because there's just bolts everywhere. And while it's fresh in my head, I want to get the front of the motor back together. Here's the pile of stuff. So off the engine part, the water pump, obviously the balancer, coil pack, so the valve covers are just covering it up, but so I can get the push rods out of there. The radiator setup, front bumper, inner fender wells. There's the stock cam right there. And then all that intake stuff, but that stuff's not going to go back on. And here's all the pulley setup. So all that had to come off to get access to other bolts. So, I mean, it's not really hard work. It's just a little tedious. I had a little hang up with the blower setup, but that's going to happen now. So as soon as I get that, I'll be switching that out too. Yeah, the whole idea of this setup is going to be, I want to spin the 2650 slower. It should run cooler at the same power levels of you spinning this crazy fast. I have a double row front bolt-on cooler for the front, and between that I'm going to upgrade the pump, and the 2650 has a quite a bit larger internal intercooler, so I think it's going to do exactly what I want it to do. If I want to step it up beyond that, then whatever, but for now I'll be happy with what it's going to do, I'm sure. So what I'm going to end up doing in this video here is I'm going to probably record me assembling the front back together. That'll give you an idea what you got to do to take it apart to do the cam part of this. The cam part is like the worst thing I think to do on this thing. So everything else seems not bad at all. I'm going to do the valve springs too, but I might pull the blower off. I think it's going to give me a little more room to work. So I'll do that. I'll record that. But yeah, so I'll just do this in parts once I get ready to. I'm waiting for the balancer to come. So when I get that, I'll start assembling it. That's going to be a couple days. But it won't be a couple days in this video because I'll just cut right back to it. Well, I guess I'm glad I do stuff like this. So when I was just making sure all the push rod or the lifters were good, you look down there. See those rollers? That's from one of the lifters. There's and there is one of the rocker. Where is it? Right there, one of the caps to the rockers. So I mean, I just bought this car, so it's a good thing I checked, because here it is, and this thing right here. It's all wobbly in there, so I'll be addressing that. It's not a big deal. I mean, I either put trunnions in it, upgrade, or I'll just change out the rockers. Another trick. A lot of people ask, like, what size push rods do I need? And everybody says you got to measure and blah blah blah, but you do, but I don't think you need to do it the way everyone wants to do it. I've done this before. Everything is based off the base circle of the cam as far as your push rod length. Now, all you need to do is measure the base circle of this cam and the base circle of the new one. Okay, I did that. So the base circle of the stock cam is 1.553, and the Thule cam is 1.427. Now, all you need to do is subtract the difference, and I just took these off the end, and you get 0.065, okay? After you divide the difference in half, because you're only losing half of one, the total circumference. So you add the 0.65 to 7.4, and that's basically your pushrod length. At least you could start there if you don't believe that this would work, but if you're going off the base circle and and 7.4 is fine with the stock one, and you just change it compared to the distance by shrinking the cam lobe a little bit, why wouldn't it be the right number? So I'm gonna get 7.450s, and that'll be close enough. I mean, I'm not gonna worry about you know 0.015 difference. So, but I'll check it then. I'll see how many turns I get with the bolt based on the clearance, when it's pushing down into the lifter. So anyway, I'm out of Loctite, or else I would get back to this, and because I want to put Loctite on these bolts here that go over the cam, and then the actual bolts that hold the cam gear on too. And then I want to get the front cover on so I can, let it sit for a couple days without worrying about anything getting up in there. So after going over, I did decide to swap this out here. I had that spring-loaded deal. I just figured I don't want to take the chance. So I got a new O-ring here. I'm about to put the pump back on. The oil pan bolts were all accessible, and I didn't have to remove anything but the bolts. And I had enough room. I actually had my fingers in the oil pan unscrewing it. So it's not bad at all. So just for reference on that. But from underneath, you can get straight up. There was two I needed the universal on it, but that's it. Other than that, it was cake. So on to the next thing, which would be bolting the oil pan back up and getting this timing cover back. I might do the timing cover and oil pan loose with the centering tool that I got. So here we go. I'm going to get to this tomorrow. The ATI balancer, 10% overdrive, and I put the cover back in, but I ended up getting that bolt back in, no problem. I screwed it in by hand all the way till it stopped, and then I was able to just tighten it down with the 10 millimeter. So open that. So don't be afraid to take the oil pan down on this car. It's nothing to it. I mean, I want to say it took me 30 minutes to do the whole thing. So, I mean, I don't know if the lift helped, but I'm sure it did. But yeah, I can't believe I was thinking about that all day. So we'll continue this tomorrow. Plan tomorrow is get the oil pan and the timing cover. Well, I gotta center the oil pump and then get the timing cover and oil pan tightened up. And I got the centering tool for that, for the oil, or for the cover. And I can start putting the front of this car back together, because the engine stuff's nothing. The car, that's the first time I took this car apart, so I want to get it back as soon as possible so I don't forget where the stuff goes. Because the radiators and all, the cooling for the power steering and the AC and the intercooler, the oil cooler, all that stuff, it's like a puzzle putting it back together. So that's my main thing, is I want to get that back together.